me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
I think the first challenge for a lot of people to understand is that we are different. Like I said, I was really blessed that either people retired or they kind of moved on and found a job that fit them better. So we got to build out a completely new team of individuals that had that mindset. I didn't really care what their skill set was, where they came from, as long as they cared to help each other. That was my main goal. And then it was just a bonus that they had all these years of experience.
Welcome to the Daily Parks and Rec Show Leadership Series, brought to you by DPRS Media Co., the media company built for the people behind the Parks and Rec community. Today we're thrilled to host Eunice Donnelly, the innovative Parks and Rec Director for Stallings, North Carolina. Eunice leads a department that, while relatively new, is making a significant impact by focusing on unique outdoor experiences. In Stallings, you'll find a strong emphasis on passive recreation, with exciting features like pump tracks for biking and converted tennis courts for the ever-popular pickleball. Their mission is all about encouraging everyone to get outside and enjoy their facilities, which are designed for first come, first serve enjoyment and affordability. Okay, we are live with Eunice Donnelly. Am I saying Donnelly? That's how you pronounce it?
That's it.
Oh, okay. That's what it looked like, but I always want to ask. So she is a park and rec director in Stallings, North Carolina, has an awesome story. She's got so many unique things going on in her personal career and then with her city that she's managing the Parks and Rec department. But before we get started, let's go ahead and play our little explainer as to what the Daily Parks and Rec Show is, or DPRS Media Company, how it all works together, and then we'll come back with Eunice. Welcome to DPRS Media Co., the first media company built for the people behind the Parks and Rec community. We don't just cover on Parks and Rec, we elevate it, we amplify it, we honor it. At the heart of everything we do is one mission: to serve the public servants, the professionals who design, maintain, and lead the parks that shape our communities. Under the Daily Parks and Rec Show, we produce 6 powerful platforms. Leadership in Parks and Rec, a spotlight on directors, superintendents, and visionaries shaping the future of public spaces. Facility maintenance, where the boots hit the ground, a deep dive into the systems, crews, and craftsmanship that keep our parks clean, safe, and beautiful. Young Professionals Network, shining a light on the next generation of Parks and Rec. Students, interns, and mentors sharing how we build a legacy together. Youth Sports Mastery, sponsored by National Academy of Athletics. This series is for coaches, parents, and rec leaders working to make youth sports fun, fair, and meaningful again. The Rec Room, hosted by the passionate leaders of Henry County Parks and Rec. This show brings frontline energy and real-life stories from the field. And the weekly Parks and Rec Post, our official newsletter delivering stories, insights, and community wins every week. We are DPRS Media Co., LLC, a media company with a mission to uplift the professionals who serve every community, every park, every day. All right. So now everybody knows. Oh, thank you. We have a refresher, because every time I watch that, I'm like on our YPN, we've had a show with you on it. And
Yeah.
You know how they'll like show older shows, kind of flashing through them as they explain each show. I'm like, oh, we need to refresh it. And so we've had a total refresh that kind of brought in all the other shows that we've had since that thing was made. But
Yeah, it looks awesome.
we're getting there. I advise anyone wanting to do something, just start, because there's no way to know what you're going to end up doing until you start doing it.
Nope. You're exactly right.
Yeah. And that kind of method works well in Parks and Rec. You just it's mostly on the job training, I think, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think you just have to take what you're dealt with, and you'll never
Yeah.
know it all. It's pretty
That's
much
it.
the key. There's always something to figure out.
I know. I've interviewed people that have been here for like 30 and 40 years, and they're still learning.
Yeah. I think
Still
that's how we
seeing.
get stuck in it. You
Yeah,
never
that's
leave it.
right.
You never figure it out.
That's it. It's always an unfinished project. Um, well, Eunice, why don't you introduce yourself to, Parks and Rec of America? Tell us a little bit about your background and kind of what you're doing.
Yeah, I'll do my little elevator pitch. So, name's Eunice Donnelly. I grew up in Gastonia, North Carolina. So when I was there, I got into the world of rec at 15 years old. I was a lifeguard. I just absolutely loved it. Ended up being a gym supervisor. I refed a few sports there. Ended up working pretty much part time year round while I was in high school, then went to college, thought I wanted to be a teacher. And then my boss at the rec department was like, well, recreation management is a degree. And I was like, I have never heard of that. I was like, do you think I could do something like this forever? Like could be my lifestyle. And so I changed my major my sophomore year of college to recreation management. Actually got a full-time job when I graduated at the same department that hired me when I was 15 that I stayed around for. So
Wow.
yeah, that was really cool. I was their first ever special event supervisor. So they kind of created a position for me that just kind of worked out
Mhm.
perfectly, which was just awesome. So I was doing that for about a year and then decided, okay, I felt like I left a good foundation for the next person. I was kind of ready to move on to a new rec department. I've been there for a few years, so that's how I ended up at Stallings and started as their special event coordinator. And then 2 years later, the director position opened. And at 24 years old, found myself just kind of sitting in this leadership role that I never would have thought would happen so early. Just super, super blessed and have loved every second of it. Definitely has come with its fair share of challenges, but
Yeah.
I feel like I've just been ready since I was my 15-year-old self getting my worker's permit to lifeguard. This is just, I'm living her dream. So I just love it.
Man, that is quite a wild ride for a 10-year journey starting at 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
Um, and so you've been at this current position for 2 years, you said, or a year? How
So
long have you
I've
been
been
director?
in parks director role for 3 years here. I
Mhm.
just hit 3 years, I think, like last week.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah. Thank you, thank you. I'm still here. They haven't fired me yet, so that's a plus. They've kept me around.
Always a
And then
bonus.
yeah, always a plus. But in total, I've been here for 5 years with the town.
Mhm. Now,
So
there, is it somewhat of a new department, or what did you tell me?
yeah, so the
Um,
parks department started in 2012. I'm
okay.
only the third director that's ever been
Mhm,
here. So definitely relatively new, and
mhm,
especially I'm the oldest, like tenured, I'd say, on full time park staff. So we're just
mhm,
growing insanely fast.
mhm,
And super lucky that I got to kind of like build out the parks
mhm,
team here. You can inherit some really, really good people, but you also, it can be challenging too when you're so
mhm,
young coming into a role that I think people have high expectations for. And it is
mhm.
so new. So they're like, okay, we want to do all these things, and having to be the person to kind of phone those dreams and visions into a tinier box
Right.
can be really hard, especially when I'm like, I've been doing this forever. I'm new around the block, but it's been so rewarding and almost. I think being young can also be an
Yeah,
asset too. So
yeah. Now, were you aware of the kinda structure before it became an official Parks and Rec department? Was it under something else? I'm sure they had a park, and the city's old. How old is the
yeah,
city?
yeah. So we're actually celebrating our 50th anniversary this year. So woohoo, 50
Mhm.
years
There
incorporated
you
for
go.
the town. But when I started, so my first day here 5 years ago, they actually put Parks and Rec in a totally new building the day that I was hired. So
Wow.
it was just this crazy switch. Yep. So our Parks department, we're in almost like a government center. It's not really a community center. It doesn't have rentable space. It's just where our council chambers are. So it's a
Mhm,
little unique as far as the Parks
mhm,
department that I've ever worked at goes, but we make it work. All of us fit in here. Me, admin. We have a event coordinator and then two full time maintenance. We made our
mhm,
home over here, so it was definitely shaped a little differently when I started. We didn't have full time maintenance on staff. we just were trying to get that loaded. We only had admin, a parks director, and a special
Mm,
event coordinator.
yeah. And so this is probably one of the first times I've been able to interview somebody who, we always think of Parks and Rec department being as old as the city.
Yeah,
If it's a 100-year-old city, it's a 100-year-old Park and Rec department.
yep,
But, you were one of the few, I guess, Parks and Rec department that is just being born.
yep.
And but you're among all these old Park and Rec departments, and I guess they'd have to look back sometimes 80, 90, 100 years to see when they were started. Uh,
Yeah.
what are some of the first kinda building blocks that you had to say, "Well, since we're kinda starting from scratch, these are the things we're trying to put in place?"
Yeah, I think the hardest thing personally when I got hired is we had a few parks up our sleeves already. Like we have a little under 20-acre park down the road, and then our main downtown park is about 10 acres. And we didn't
Mm,
have a full time maintenance staff, but we were supposed to take care of all of it. So that was a little
mm,
overwhelming when I was hired on. We didn't have landscaping outsourced, it was all in house. We had one part time guy that was more like year round seasonal that helped. Two
mhm.
other part timers, they were wonderful, but it wasn't a full time role. So we really struggled, I think, in the sense that people kind of compared us like, well, oh, this municipality does this municipality does that. And I'm like, well, that's wonderful, but they also have a very
The
vivacious
staff.
staff. But yeah, I was like, that is really great. I was like, well, we have three full time people here. So there's just no way. I was like, they have three full time people here on weekends. Plus, there are eight that's during the week. I mean, it just, you couldn't even compare. So
Yeah.
that was, I think, the first challenge for a lot of people to understand is that we are different.
Mm,
But it was really helpful because where I worked before here was in Cramerton, and it was a small department as well, so very
yeah.
similar to this. So it's you kind of know the struggles. If someone needs help, if you need to work on the weekends, you pick it up. If the bathroom needs to be cleaned, you're going to be there. So it was more so getting the work culture
Mhm.
a little changed, where people you're never too good to do a job. I think
Mhm.
that was the hardest part was instilling that in everybody. But like I said, I was really blessed that either people retired or they kind of moved on and found a job that fit them better. So we got to build out a completely new team of
Mm.
individuals that had that mindset. I didn't really care what their skill set was, where they came from, as long as they cared to help each other. That was my main goal. And then it was just a bonus that they had all these years of experience in the
Mm.
rental world. So that has
Now
been
wh
super helpful.
that's actually that's pretty, I guess since you said you started when you were young to know that culture is that important. Most people don't realize how important culture is till they're much older, have experienced terrible culture, and then they're like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I gotta start a good culture." Where did that understanding organizational
Yeah.
culture come from?
I think that started, I mean, my first job, lifeguarding, it was so much fun. We just were all super close and just it was like instant best friends. But it was so funny.
Mhm.
It was like a Netflix series. We only hung out over the summer. I mean, that was just our thing. We all went our separate ways as the year went, but over the summer it was just one big family and nobody it never felt like you had a boss. It just always
Mhm.
felt like we had this one common goal to be together, get along, and make sure everyone's safe. And if all three of those were met, we were so happy. I mean, that was so important to me. I think that just like really lit my fire on recreation and why I
Mhm.
loved it so much. Not everyone's like that. There's a few people that come in and out that don't share that mindset. But those are the
Yeah,
people that stay for multiple summers. I mean, so
right.
that is kind of where it started. And I had a really wonderful first director that I ever worked under. He just wore so many different hats, was super involved in the community. You could never go out with him without somebody recognizing him or knowing who he was. And I think that really just set the tone of
Mm.
working. It was like a family atmosphere. I mean, instead of going to like your recreation pool, you almost felt like you were in your friend's backyard. So it just was really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's so important in just the industry of parks and recreation. If you're not careful, you can get burnt out because it's such a nights, weekends, holidays, plus you got a lot of stuff to do during the regular 40-hour work week,
Yeah.
and if you're not careful, your staff will just get wiped out, and then just not even it's not even fun anymore, you know? So if you don't
Yeah,
have
at
a
all.
good, strong culture,
Yeah, exactly. Well, and
not
a lot
having
of the
fun anymore.
no, I mean, that's so true, and I
Yeah.
think with Parks and Rec, a lot of times you see the people you work with more than you see your family, so it's like,
Oh,
how do you
definitely.
create this environment that feels like family, that also encourages people to wanna come be here on their days off? I mean, I think
Mhm.
that is my favorite, is when everyone brings their kids to the events or has their wife or their husband bring their kids and their family, and it's like, "Man, what other job would you think if I have to work on a Saturday? Yeah, I think I wanna bring my husband here and let him
Yeah,
enjoy it with his kids." I mean,
yeah,
there's just not many that I could think of, and it's just so cool that
yeah.
we get to kind of be a piece of that.
Shout out to Brian Dixon. He's head of all things maintenance in Henry County, Georgia, and we were laughing on his episode. We were like, "We should start a show called Spouses of Parks and Rec," and
We
can you
should.
get their input.
Yeah.
What's it like to be married to a Parks and Rec people?
I don't know if it'd be as bubbly.
Right. It would be a full-on entertainment show.
Yeah, it really would.
Right. We'd get the real side of Parks and Rec.
Yeah, that's exactly what you get.
That's
That'd be
it.
like the tea.
Gloves off. Um, okay, so tell us a little bit about, because I know you were pretty active in, the Young Professionals Network, weren't you? Kinda like, that was
Yeah,
right out the gates.
yeah, so I kinda got involved with that as soon as I got this director position. I pretty much was
Mhm,
basically something like, I will take as many resources as I
mhm,
can get. At this point, I was super fortunate, like I said, to get this role, but I definitely felt a little unprepared as far as my
mhm,
resume goes. I know I've put in the work. I love Parks and Rec, but I just don't have these years of experience that other
mhm,
directors have, or this luxurious master's degree or anything like that. I truly just have stayed in a rec department and then majored in it and then fell in love with it. So
mhm,
when I was looking at ways to kind of get involved, get more information, the YPN just really stuck out to me. I was like, man, what better way than to meet other young professionals in the field that, if they don't live here, what are they doing in different states? Like, how can I
mhm,
get more involved? The hardest piece for me was finding directors my age.
mm,
But what was really helpful is I might not find directors my age, but I can meet other young professionals that have input on how they would lead or what they would want to see directors do. So that was really helpful for me, because it's like, I mean, it would be hard to talk to someone, 20 years older, like, oh, that's what I tell you to do. But a peer saying, well,
yeah,
this is how I wish it was ran. I was like, man, that's actually really helpful, and think
yeah,
it like a very good reflection for
yeah,
myself. But we did Rec Talk for a little bit, a few months. I did that for, I think, a year I was involved, and
mhm,
then I did it for a few months after that, and then still kind of talked to Molly, and I saw Cassie. She was on your little
mhm,
preview. I was like, oh my gosh, look at all these people. I was like,
yeah,
this is so fun. But yeah.
yeah, and then Gabby was another one. I actually met Gabby first when I was asking
Okay.
for were there any young Park and Rec directors or whatever. Her name came up first, and then, of course, she drug Molly in there with her immediately.
Yep.
I think they
He
came
did
at the
ever.
tail. If you get one, you get them both.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
but, and they're about your age, and
Yep.
same thing in a director seat, and God, both all to me, all 3 of y'all are doing really well.
Yeah, she's wonderful to keep up with. I love seeing all their projects, and
Yeah,
because she has a way bigger department, but it is just awesome to see her just push through so many challenges and be there for all of her staff. I know they just adore her.
yeah. Now what did you do as far as the podcast? What you did that like a monthly show with them, or which
Yeah,
podcast was it?
yeah. So what we did is, so YPN had its own monthly meeting, and
Mhm,
that's where you had a ton of people on, anywhere between like probably 50 and 100 people is what they
mhm,
averaged. And then what the YPN wanted to accomplish is, how can we take all these people and have maybe a more meaningful conversation or a deeper dive into that topic. So
mhm,
what we did is we would meet the week after the big virtual meeting and then kind of just dissect little things or
mhm,
plug people together. So it was really interesting. It was hard sometimes. There were some topics that it was like, okay, I don't really know how we're going to dissect this further. Like, oh, you want to get your CPRP? How can you do that? And it's like, all right, well, we struggled a little bit, I think, to find
Right.
some things to kind of really dig into. But I think there were some things that were super helpful that people just wanted that
Mm.
one-on-one connection. It was a little more open. So you didn't weren't just logging in and listening to someone. You
Yeah.
actually got to participate, which was really nice.
Do any topics stand out over the years, I guess, as just a really good topic that was covered in YPN, maybe like a top 3?
Yeah, I think there was one that always stuck out to me, and it's just because it really hits home, and it was like it talked about how to lead those older than you, and that was probably
Mm.
my favorite topic that we've ever kind of discussed, just because I could relate so much to
Right.
that. And we just talked about a wide variety of things, about things that can go wrong, things that, okay, maybe it's such a good thing, or I don't know if I'd feel comfortable doing that. So it was really interesting to kind of talk further with people, especially from my perspective, like, oh, well, why do you like it, Eunice? And I'm like, oh gosh, I'm put on the spot. Here we go.
Yeah.
Or if there was things that I wish I would change. And
Yeah.
especially when people started talking about, like, do you regret doing it so young? Do you wish that you had a few more years not as a director? So it just hit a lot of interesting questions, I think, for everyone that was
Yeah.
super interesting to me. Yeah.
What is your answer to that question as far as do you wish you would
I
have had a
knew you were
little
going
more?
to say that. I knew.
You
I was
knew it.
like, oh,
You knew it
no.
was coming.
Yeah. It depends on what day you ask.
Right.
I
On
think,
good days, I'm glad. On most
yeah,
days, I'm
yeah. It council meeting nights at 9 p.m. I'm like, why did I do this?
right.
But
Right.
no, I looking back, I mean, I would have if I wouldn't have taken this opportunity, I probably would have regretted it till the day I die. I mean, it would have always been one of those what if moments.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I wouldn't change a thing. I do miss um being a little more, like, naive. I feel like I've had to grow up really fast, and I
Mm.
miss being a little ignorant in some things, like, "Oh, why can't parks department just do this?" Or, "I wish it could be this way." I wish I didn't know some of the answers to those questions on why it has to be as far as budget restrictions, oh, a lot of different personalities, this isn't gonna work, or, we're not the best fit for something like this. I kinda miss that
Mhm.
magic bubble of pretending we can do anything we want and there's no rules, because
Mhm.
that's just so much more my speed. I love, "Oh, like, let's try to make the impossible happen," and I think there's a way to do that, but I definitely think starting so young, not that you lose that spark, but you almost have to be a little more tamed than you probably would be if you got this role, like, in your 30s or 40s or even in your 50s at the end of your career. It just makes you be a little bit more serious and have to kind of put on your big girl pants and make some
Mhm.
decisions that, it'd be nice if I didn't have to make them, but I will do it. That's part of the job. It was going to happen
Mhm.
one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely this weird, it's a weird balance, but
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. I really, really do.
Now, since you probably it's not that long ago since you walked into your first council meeting, but I've never asked somebody to describe what's it like walking into a council meeting with these elected officials, and the ones I've been to, there it's almost like you've got 7 judges up on this stage.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What was that like? Or describe it.
So oh my gosh, you're just gonna love this one. I actually had to record for our council when I was the special event coordinator. I was tasked with making them a video, and this was before I really understood how these
Mm.
meetings work. So I recorded this 7-minute pitch, and I am talking like how I would probably talk to my best friend. I was excited. I was happy. I was using my hands. I mean, and this is recorded video, so no one could pause. It was during COVID, so they're watching it. And at the end, I don't even remember doing this. I like blew a kiss. I was like, "Thank you so much." Oh my, and oh yeah, it was all traumatizing. Like literally to this day, people here are like, "I just can't believe you did that." So it is live recorded. It is out for the world to see. Y'all feel free to go check it out, whoever's listening, if you really want to
That's
dive into
it.
my personal life. But the silence that followed after that video played for the whole council, I mean, it was just like pin drop. Oh yeah, and I was in Wisconsin. Like I wasn't even in town. That's why I had to be pre-recorded, and I can even pick up on social cues because it was just this video. So they were like doing these weird stares while I was talking, but the video had to keep playing. Oh my gosh!
Oh
So
my
my
God.
first council meeting, that's what they knew me as. So it was traumatizing. Like I just remember walking in, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what to tell these people.
Right.
And they just laughed. I mean, I went up to the podium and they're like, I think your energy is just it can be distracting. And I was like, okay, thank you, thank you. So it definitely, the first few weeks were something to be learned from. That is for
Yeah.
sure. But now it's almost just so much fun going up there and talking to them now that they know me. I mean, it couldn't have started any better, but it definitely was an overwhelming experience. I wish I could go back to my rec management days when I was in college and I was like, why is this not a class? Like, why are we not preparing people? Like, this is not public
Mhm.
speaking. This is a totally different world of what you can say, what you don't want to say, some terminology. Because in the reality of it, they're all just people. You know, these are all just people. They're my neighbors. I live in town. I know them,
Right.
but it's really scary. And then you have to really watch what you say because you can kind of, I feel like I've done that multiple times where I'm the one that's opened the door. And then that's when all the questions followed. And I was like, why did I even open that door? This is not even
Right.
important or necessary.
Right. Right. I don't know if I would have changed anything because they'll never forget you after that, and they'll probably did
Oh,
they ever
yeah.
bring it up afterwards? Like, I remember your
I've had,
first
I've had
meeting.
a few. I've had a few. It's more so the department head Pierre that'll give me a hard time. Yeah, our
Yeah.
chief of police, that's his favorite thing. After he leaves my office, he just goes,
No
and I'm like,
way.
that's embarrassing.
Never gonna
Yeah,
live that one down.
yeah, no, never. It will haunt me until he retires.
Alright, so then if you're trying to prepare someone for this, like, as if you had to put together some type of 101, here's some do's and don'ts, any advice you would give somebody doing a council meeting for the first time? 101.
Yeah, be yourself maybe at like 50%. Maybe 50% of your full self is
Be half
probably
of yourself.
yeah, yeah. Half of your energy is probably okay for a council meeting.
Yeah.
Um, and I definitely, they're going to ask questions. I think the best thing is there's just such a balance of you leading the conversation, but also letting them chime in. Like, let them ask the questions they want. You're never going to be prepared for what
Mhm.
they're going to ask. That's what I always tell myself is, okay, what is any possible question they could ask me? Be prepared for the unexpected. It's going to happen, but also just know that you don't have to know everything. You are human, and it is totally okay if you say, hey, I think that is such a great and valid question. However, at the time, I don't have that information. I'll get back to you because I have a tendency, I'd say before I took this role, to kind of word vomit. Or I also
Mhm.
think it just had to be due with immaturity, like almost getting really defensive when people ask questions. I felt like I needed to know the answer, or like,
Mm.
why are you asking that? Do you not trust me? Is there something wrong with me? So having to just realize, like, no, they genuinely are just curious. This is probably not make or break to whatever you're trying to propose. They're just
Mhm.
asking any question like anyone else would. So being okay with either, oh, this is the answer, or hey, I'm going to have to kind of check on that.
Mhm.
And that being all right.
Yeah. Now how often is I don't even know the ratio. Is it most of the time you have a project that needs to go before council, so you're presenting this, or are there times where they're calling you into council because they have something that they'd like to push through the Parks and Rec department?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. I work with a wonderful town manager. I mean, I could just talk his praise all day. He is so good at making the council aware of any issues that arise, but he's also wonderful if the council has something that is related to my department. He'll kind of make me aware of it before we have our meeting. So there's
Mhm.
limited surprises, but it really depends on what the council wants. I mean, I've been in meetings where one conversation is happening and the parks kind of gets thrown into it and then it gets added to the agenda, or they feel passionately about something and they'll throw it on the agenda so we can speak through it, which is great too. It's
Mhm.
super helpful because I haven't worked with places, but I've heard stories that some councils kind of overstep and they'll reach directly out to the director. They'll kind of surpass their town manager, and it kind of puts them in a tricky spot. Like, well, I talked to them this time and they said this. And I've been so very blessed that our town manager really is just, he's that middle person for all of the department heads to really feed information to and from.
Mhm.
So I have had such a wonderful experience here with that. I'm very, very lucky because it could be bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that town manager is key because he really is kind of like the quarterback for seems like he's the central
Yeah.
hub that
Yeah.
everything's coming to.
Yeah. I was like, we're just the makeup. You are the body. Like, we'll make you look a little bit better, but you've got to have a basis, something. And he definitely is that for all of us. So it's been great.
Okay, so we're at the halfway point already. I've got a new commercial for our YSM.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's kind of new. Well, we made some adjustments. We're always, I think every week we're revamping because we produce like
So much.
we're up to like 12 hours a week.
Oh my gosh. I don't even sleep that long.
Yes, it's a lot. But we're getting so much really good content. The shows are doing great, and the commercial I'm going to play is our Thursday show, which I don't even host. This is the only show I don't host, and so I'm hoping more and more of these are going to be like this. But it's for youth sports. So every Thursday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, Youth Sports Mastery. And so here's our little promo for that, and then maybe we can chat a little bit about what y'all do for youth sports. Here we go.
At DPRS Media Co., we don't just create content. We elevate community through storytelling. Now, we're proud to introduce the newest addition to the family. Welcome to Youth Sports Mastery, the podcast where champions are shaped, not just on the field, but in life. Hosted by National Academy of Athletics founder Aaron Locks. Youth Sports Mastery dives deep into how youth sports can empower kids, strengthen communities, and build leaders. From coaching culture to recreation strategy, and from player development to parent impact, every episode brings game-ready insight from the people making it happen. Youth Sports Mastery goes live every Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only on the Daily Parks and Rec Show, sponsored by National Academy of Athletics and powered by DPRS Media Co. This is where purpose meets play.
All right, so that's our Thursday show. If you want to learn about youth sports, coaching, officiating, athletic directors, and Aaron's been doing that for like 40 years, so he is one of the masters in that small sliver of the industry. What do y'all do for youth sports in your town?
Yeah, so that's where we're a little different. Don't hate us. We, in our master plan, actually are so close to really big sports complexes that we have been tasked to only do passive recreation. So we don't,
okay.
Yeah, so we're more going towards, like, my big vision is like pump track, like these outdoor
I love it.
Yeah, that are definitely like, you could come and bring your bike. Like, okay, we have this field. It is like soccer field regulations, but we don't have goals. Like, it's more so just like a choose your own adventure is what kind of Stallings is leaning more towards. Because we, like I said, I mean, you could throw a baseball and you're in a different town that just has so much more financial means to host these big leagues. They have the staff. So it's been kind of really fun to just let us do our own thing and leave that for the big dogs. We'll focus on the smaller scale stuff. We do have a tennis court that we converted to pickleball. That is all the rage. So that has been definitely super fun, but we don't rent it out for the public. We kind of partner with an organization that does like pickleball and tennis lessons. But for the most part, we really pride ourselves on our facilities being just first come, first serve as far as that goes. Our shelter rentals, they're very affordable for residents and non-residents. And we just really want to encourage people to get outside, So if everyone wants to keep the sports, that is fine with me. I do not need them. Love going, loved being a part of it, but it definitely has been super fun to just kind of work on the outdoor element
Yeah.
here.
So maybe define a little more, how do you define passive recreation as opposed to active recreation? Can you define both of those for us a little bit more?
Yeah, so I would say if you're thinking of active recreation, that's what I like to throw in: basketball, soccer, volleyball,
Mhm.
swimming. That kind of entails more the
So that's
sports
like
athletics. That,
coaches, parents, facilities,
yeah,
renting, uniforms, games,
yeah,
tournaments. That's all
exactly. That
okay.
I would kind of throw in that active recreation, and then more passive. Kind of think of like you're sitting on a park bench, but you're crocheting, you're knitting, you're out
Mhm.
there. I mean, even some people would say like geocaching is a little bit more
Mhm.
passive.
Or the pump
Punch.
track, that's a good example,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So pump track can kind of go under there too. Like it's not really an organized sport. There's not really a league, but you can go out there with your bike, and it's really cool. Have you ever seen a pump track? Have you ever
I've
been to
been
one?
on one. I have
Oh,
so
nice.
actually, my first pump track experience outside of just seeing it in I forgot where I saw one at, but, did you go to Baltimore when they
Mm-mm.
had so NRPA had it in Baltimore? I guess that was, like, 6, 7 years ago,
Yeah,
and we got on one of those battery-powered scooters to go all around town and
yeah.
stuff, and we found one, and it was, like, me
Not
and
take that
4
scooter on that track.
we did. We
Oh,
did.
yeah,
It was a
awesome.
blast. I don't even know if we were supposed to or not, but,
You're a
it
true
was
red kid at heart.
it was passive, it was
Yeah.
open, it was green space, all the things that's all boxes getting checked off in my mind.
Baltimore, if you're
There
listening, it was not me. It was someone
there
else.
there was no one around to tell us, "No, that's a huge box. Don't get caught." Check that one off.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, so stuff like that I just think is awesome. And then like our splash pad, I would say that's more passive recreation.
Yeah,
You're not
yeah.
really getting the water, you're just coming for a good time. I mean, that is I think so key to just get people outdoors. I mean, make it comfortable, make it not as scary. I think sports, it's something you're kind of born into. And if you
Mm,
start them young, it's probably because your parents either had the means to do it, you begged, or you're being forced, So
mhm,
passive recreation, it's just so cool when you can show up at a park and have all these different things that kids can kind of look at and choose to do.
mhm.
And that's where I think Stallings kind of is going to be their niche here.
Yeah. That's really good that y'all are able to identify your strengths and weaknesses and the strengths of your neighbors and what you can do different that they may already have or not be doing,
Yeah.
but, you can lean on them.
Yeah, it's been, and that's just such a testament to our council, town manager, and other staff that really identified that early. I mean, the Parks Department was started in 2012, and then the master plan was approved in 2019. So that
Mm.
is actually a pretty fast turnaround. To me, some people were like, oh my gosh, what do you mean? That was like 7 whole years. So I'm like, man, to do a master plan to really fulfill it out, I mean, you have to take at least a good
Well, that's a
year.
first master plan though, because some people they have a master plan and now they're making like an updated master plan. It's a big
Yeah,
difference between updating an old one and starting from nothing.
starting fresh, literally nothing existing.
Right.
Like it was ground zero. So it was
Yeah.
really cool because it wasn't, I think that is another thing that's just awesome about Stallings is people have really got to choose their destiny a little bit here since we
Mhm.
were a little late to the game. But it wasn't like you go to a bigger municipality and these are master plans from 20, 30 years ago that they're now still trying to either update or stay committed to like 10 years. So
Mhm.
what the plans that are in them might be a little outdated. And for us, it's like, no, these are relatively new. There's some spaces in there that I'm like, okay, we need to move this, more development happened. This doesn't make sense. But for the
Mhm.
most part, like that core is really there as far as the greenways and where the parks are going to be located. It's just such an asset.
Mhm.
And like I said, it's not even 10 years old yet. So that's just
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Now shifting gears a little bit, And I think you could possibly be considered one of the experts or one of the most successful people when it comes to social media, photography, this digital landscape that we're in, because it's something you're kind of passionate about. But maybe tell us a little bit about, what you do on Instagram, social media for Parks and Rec, or maybe even personally with your photography and how you incorporate that into your
Yeah. Don't hype me
department.
up too much. I'm like,
Yeah.
I like to say just like maybe like a social media activist. Like maybe I'm at the base level. I don't know about pro. I could be better.
Look, I've interviewed a lot of people. I would probably put you in the top 10 when it comes to this topic.
But I will say, for those of you listening, I know that Craig knows
Mhm.
this, but I have a fun photography hobby that I kind of started in college. Is just some side money. I loved it in high school. Was on yearbook, did all the photos for that, and then kind of just took that passion with me as I kept growing up. And it's still something that has hung around now. I love it. It's been so fun to shoot
Mhm.
pictures for Parks and Rec departments. I think, if you kind of Google some parks, it's so outdated or it's hard getting information. People don't really know what's going on. The public's not made aware, or the flyer has so many words on it, you don't even know where to start reading.
Yeah.
So it's been
Yeah, well,
really,
it can get kinda bad. Some of those pictures I've seen of Parks and Rec, it looks like the same person photographing Bigfoot was the person that's trying to take pictures of our park.
uh-huh, yeah. And some I'm like, this is word art. Like I think we've moved past word art. Like it is time. I
Yeah.
think the hardest thing I have is I've seen some places and it's I'm not calling anybody out, but it's literally shots of their PowerPoint slides. And I'm like, "Oh
Yes.
my gosh, I can't." I was like, "This bothers me so bad." I
Right.
was like, "I'm gonna go crazy."
Yeah.
But what's been really cool here is what we tried to kinda hop on fast. Before I started, they actually paid a company to come in and do a whole big brand for Stallings. So that included, like, text fonts. It also included, like, our whole color scheme. So we got the Pantone colors. If you don't know what Pantone is, it's pretty much just the number that goes along with the color so you can make sure
Mhm.
everything matches.
Get a
And
color
we
palette.
have yeah, the color palette, exactly.
Mhm.
So what I did, especially when the new event coordinator came on and I had a little more time on my hand, we have completely converted our Instagram pages, our Facebook page to match that kind of color scheme. We wanted all the fonts
Mhm.
to be the same. We wanted the newsletter to match. Our big goal for us is I wanted someone to get put into the park and within 5 seconds they knew exactly where they were. As a
Mhm.
stranger, it could be someone that's lived in town their whole life. It could be your cousin that is flown in here from states away. There was
Mhm.
something that I wanted to be in every park to just scream, "Hey, you're at Stallings. This is where you are right now." And that
Yeah.
has been it's still challenging. There's some parks that definitely we have struggled to do that. But it was such just a challenge. It still always will be getting information out. There's always going to be someone that says, "I haven't heard this. You haven't posted it anywhere." Well, I didn't know. And it's like, I know, I know, I know. There's
Yeah.
always somebody. And there's always that. I hate it when people are not informed. That our biggest fear is that someone does not know something. That's our
Right.
job is to tell the public, to inform. So starting with social media though has been just wonderful. I think if
Mhm.
anybody is kind of struggling, please reach out to somebody. Reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help. Because photos are just they can tell a story within itself, and
Yeah.
I think it's just been so perfect for us.
Yeah, and I really have something that's very, I guess, photogenic is parks, is people in
Mhm.
parks, families playing. I mean, you really can't pick a better topic to highlight and, try to raise awareness around.
Yeah.
But I wanted to maybe just pause for a second and talk a little bit about the importance of, well, I guess let me explain it a little, and then you can start red inking it and correcting me and filling in the gaps. But if you've got, say,
Okay.
uh, a color palette, why would you want one? Why is it important to have, the same branding across all platforms? And I think it's because if your colors are, say, red and blue, you don't have like 20 different shades of red on the t-shirt, the website, the flyer. It's the same exact red with that little, what was that number you said? It was the
Yeah, the
Pantone.
Pantone. Yep.
Yeah, the Pantone, and that way you can say, "This is our red. Here's the number," and you can hand this to any graphics designer, any T-shirt maker, and they will make sure that it's, Stallings red and
Yes.
Stallings green, and you just everything looks uniform, and then that goes into your signage, that goes into the logos on your vehicles, and and it's really important to do up front, especially if you can get into digital media, because then you're just making media nonstop with all different shades of red instead of just that one red. And
Yeah.
so what am I missing?
Yeah. No, I mean, you're exactly right. What's been really cool is, so this past year, we started doing something really fun. Our playground, our park was built in 2012, so we're hitting that almost, like,
Mhm.
times coming where stuff has to get replaced. Even though the parks department started then, we inherited some older playgrounds. So they might have been there before 2012, but it was time to get them redone. So
Yeah.
we actually, with our playground designer, pulled the Pantone from our town logo, and now our playgrounds are that color. So we've
Mm.
even taken it just as far as to now, okay, park amenities are starting to match our brand. Like, how cool is that? That you could look
Yeah.
at a playground and be like, oh my gosh, that's Stallings orange. Like, I know exactly where that's from. Or, oh, that's the Stallings blue or the Stallings green. And I think it's also important because it screams like who you are. Like, you're not going to go to a beach town and see probably like neon yellow and these like dark browns or blacks. You're going to think of like beachy. It's going to be light and airy, sandy, blues. So that it tells its own story. I mean, and that's what's so important for us. We have these more of earthy tones. They're a little bit simpler. It's essentially like three different colors with like different shades of those colors, and it's just so fun. Our tagline is how home should feel, and I think that really encompasses that as
Yeah.
well. When you see those, it sets a mood. I know it's something that sounds crazy, but once you see it, like you talked about, if you had this flyer that had 20 different blues on it or 20 different fonts, and then compared to a flyer that has maybe two main colors and two different fonts and things were
Yeah.
bolded or highlighted different, your brain is just aesthetically going to go to the one over here that's a
Yeah.
little more cohesive. So it's
Yeah.
been kind of fun. And it's almost like a psychological thing too. Like, how do we get people to notice us more without putting in too much effort? And that has been so easy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think it comes down to brand reinforcement, familiarity, that the human mind is a great filtration system, or probably the
Mhm.
best ever, and it's able to just filter information, and that's why you could probably rattle off some common brands and just say, what's the color scheme of, like, Nike? I would say the orange, Coke is the red, McDonald's is the yellow with the red, and
Yeah.
Harley Davidson's black. I mean, I can just go through so many different big brands,
Uh-huh.
and I matter of fact, we're in Breck Park, and they could remove the word Breck and just put a triangle in their green, and you just already know that's Breck's
Yeah.
green. I
Yeah,
don't even have to read
exactly.
it.
I mean, it's so important. If you don't know who you are, how do you expect other people to? And I think that
Yeah,
really just goes back to the branding as being just such a massive piece.
yeah, yeah, that's very important. Um, Now when it comes to Facebook and Instagram posts, so give somebody some advice on. I know there's a lot, and look, I know there's a lot of Parks and Rec department that are just not pushing on social media. If they do, it looks like they just snapshot a picture of their calendar and then just put it that's
Yep,
that's their post. And I'm like,
yep.
so let's upgrade that a little for them. What would you recommend as the
Yeah,
first thing
so
to look at?
we love Canva over here. For no one that knows who that is, if you're listening,
Mhm.
it's such a useful, affordable tool.
It's
You go
cheap
on the
too.
website. It's
Isn't it like
so
under
cheap.
30
It is
bucks a month?
so, yeah, it
Yeah,
would be crazy if you didn't do it. Throw it in the budget. I can promise you, everyone will thank you. Your council, your boss, your
yeah,
friends, I mean, people that live in town, they have made it so simple that
yeah,
could even, and I've seen other municipalities close to here, they've reached out, who does your photos? And I'm like, me, but I know some photographers you can hire to go out there. And I can promise you, if you pay for a photographer for just one of your events, you will have content for days. I mean,
mhm,
still photos would be awesome. And it's wonderful to use stock photos, but there's just something a little not authentic about it for a parks department. I
mhm,
just don't think it works. I think the importance of us is to show people these spaces, show their faces in these spaces. So why not have actual photos of what you're doing instead of this generic disc golf hole in this luxurious place. I'm like, that's not what it looks like. That is not what our
Right.
disc golf looks like. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is lying. Or, oh,
You
you're doing
gotta
a walk. It's just
yeah.
crazy. Like, oh, we're having a walk program, and it's like the three cutest seniors you've ever seen just galloping in the sunset. I'm like, that's not what this experience is going to be.
That's right.
So we need to paint a better picture. And Canva is such a great alternative for people that just don't have that knowledge,
Yeah.
that want to type in. I mean, you can literally type in Instagram content calendar and it'll help you. I mean,
Yeah.
it has all the tools right there for you. I say start there. It literally has courses. You can watch all the tutorials. It's perfect for someone that's super advanced. You can really go far with it. Or if you're
Mhm.
just starting out, I mean, it really will paint the picture. What I love, my favorite feature is that you can go in and actually change your whole branding guide. So we can upload all of our colors straight into there, all of our logos. And if we see a template we like, we can just click a button and it shuffles through our branding colors and changes the whole thing to match our
Mhm.
brand. I mean,
Yeah.
it's that simple. So
Yeah.
it's almost a shame when I see people, they're like, what even is that? I'm like, oh my gosh, you need it. You are the exact person that needs to download this
That's right.
right now. And
It's
that's
like
where I would start.
yeah, it's kinda like the QuickBooks of, graphics design. It's
Yeah.
just a great Swiss Army knife of,
Yeah.
graphics design tools. You don't need a graphics design background, but even if you do have a graphics design background, it's still pretty robust.
Yeah. I mean,
Um
I've taken so much stuff from like Illustrator that it's a little more advanced,
Mhm.
I would say. And then boom, they put it on Canva and it's just been so helpful. I mean,
Mhm.
the biggest piece I think with anybody starting social media campaigns or trying to dive in before even opening something or get the ball rolling, I definitely would put some time into like a month of content before you launch these pages. I've seen it so many times where people will launch a new Facebook page for their municipality, a new Instagram page, and they get really excited and it's like one post and then it goes
Mm.
radio silence for weeks. So it's like if you're going to
Mm.
do it, you need to commit to it, have that content already ready to be filtered in. So by the time it's used, you're creating more. Get people
Right.
excited. You know, I'm not following an Instagram page that has no post and 2 followers. I'm just not doing it. You're probably getting
Right.
blocked, you know,
Yep.
or I'm not accepting your follow request.
Right. Get
Probably
reported?
yeah, yeah. So it definitely you have to be a little intentional with it. I don't think it's this
Yeah.
overnight stuff. Oh my gosh, we are going to change all of our social media and we're going to get all these followers. It's like, no, 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 wait, wait, wait. This is going to be around for a really long time. So how can you create this space that you know is going to stand the test
Yeah.
of time?
Yeah, consistency is key with that. Just,
Yeah,
and same thing with Canva. If you just sit down in Canva a couple times a week, if you can do it every day for just 30 minutes, it's like sitting down at a piano. You're gonna sound horrible for the first, whatever, 6 months, but eventually you
yep,
can crank out Mozart in 6 months if you can be consistent about sitting down.
yeah, yeah. Don't be pulling the Song Sparks page from like 5 years ago. You know what I mean? It's like it's very
Right.
different. It is very
Before
different.
picture,
Gotta
before
start
picture.
somewhere. Yeah, gotta start
Right.
somewhere.
Alright, so let's just assume that there's a lot of park and rec directors that are not gonna hire a photographer, that they are the photographer, they've got their iPhone, they're at an event. Let's give them a little coaching on how to take good pictures. Don't try not to get the trash can with half the
Yeah.
view,
Right.
what are some
Yeah.
pointers you can give? So, because I can tell you, I get a lot of posts. I share a lot of posts, and it literally is directors live at the event with their iPhone, just taking
Mhm.
action shots. So
Yeah.
give them a little coaching on photography.
Yeah, I would definitely say I would start out by we post signage at all of our events that says that this event is being photographed or videographed. You being here, like, essentially signs over your permission because we get a little
Mm,
funky. We try not to get people's front faces as much as possible. But
mhm,
sometimes it happens. You know, you're at a public event in the park. So we try to make people aware. That's always the first thing we do. I
mhm,
used to not have anything that said event photographer, and I felt really creepy about that. And some of our shirts didn't say event staff; it just was this small logo. So I'd say if you only had an iPhone, I'd probably wear an event staff shirt or something that really announces who you are instead of being, maybe the creepy person with an iPhone walking around a public park by yourself, just filming and taking
yep,
pictures. Yeah, so definitely make yourself kind of known to the public. But
Mm,
also, there is nothing wrong with portrait mode on an iPhone. I mean, that bad boy, it is advanced now. I mean, it is
mhm.
almost wild what
Yeah.
the iPhone can do. But what I really like to do is when I go out into the park, I like to think of like the big picture, kind of back up like, oh, all these little things are really cool and fun, but take a step back. What do your parks look like when they're filled with people? How exactly are people recreating? Where are they going to your event? What do you want them to see? And what's going to sell it? Like, what do you actually like to look at with your own eyes? I mean, if it doesn't
Mhm.
look good while you're looking at it, I can promise you it is not going to look good on a camera.
You
I
can't
can
improve it.
guarantee you that. Yeah, can
Right.
guarantee you. So
Not
that's
even
probably
with
the
Canva.
yeah, not even with Canva. Canva can only do so much. Yeah.
Right,
ChatGPT might be able to help you out, but that's as
right.
far as it goes. But definitely that. I mean, it's more so just there's so many videos too online of how
Mhm.
to take a better iPhone picture, how to use lighting. But I can promise you, if you have an iPhone, you go out into your parks, there is content out there just waiting for you to capture it. I mean, even if there's
Mhm.
nothing going on, there is stuff in your parks right now that someone doesn't know about, they haven't seen, or they want more information on. So it
Mhm.
is so easy to just go out there, grab it. You can even go into Canva now and change the brightness of the picture. You can make it sharper, can blur it out. I mean, the options are just endless. So
Yeah,
that's probably my
yeah.
big tip.
Yeah, and we're actually used to seeing images and options. I can tell you one that spoiled me. I use this app called Yelp. I don't know if y'all have heard of it. Uh,
Yep.
but I'll click on a restaurant and I'll get frustrated if they only have like 30 images of food. And I'm like, why am I not having 400 images to look at and choose
Yeah.
from? Because it's usually taking pictures, it's uploaded, and you can get a sense for. And then on Yelp, you can click on food, you can click on outdoor, you can click on what it looks like inside. So you can get a sense of the atmosphere of the outside of the restaurant, the seating area. Actually, I say restaurant. I'm a coffee house snob, so I'm like, "Where do I wanna go work for the next 8 hours?"
Yep.
I'm like, "Do they have uncomfortable chairs?" Does their outside look good? And same thing for parks. It's like if I'm gonna
Yeah.
spend the day at the park with my family, do I want, one still shot of the parking lot, or
Mhm.
might it be good to also capture the playground or
Yeah.
or the
Yeah, like,
trail?
the Google car cannot drive in your park, so I can only see so much of it on the street
Yes.
view.
Yeah.
Like, and
That's
what's been
right.
really cool is back when I was in school, I've had these conversations with other people that really kinda dive into media. Um, it's like, how would you find any other place? We would Google it, we would look on Google Maps, we would look at the
Mhm.
reviews, look at the photos, and if you start doing this with parks, it's really hard to get this information,
It is.
especially if they're like, go to the town's website and look for it. And you have to click at least 8 or 9 times before you're even at the parks page. So it's like,
Right.
how do I make this simpler for people? What's been really cool is I don't know if you ever heard of DuckDuckGo. Have you heard of that search
Mhm.
engine?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
well, I'm a Bitcoiner and
Okay.
we went off the deep end.
Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, so that
Oh, yeah.
been
That's like
super
par for the
helpful.
course.
Yeah. Yeah. That's subsection 2 of this podcast.
Right.
But what I love doing is when I first started here and got this job, I put all of our parks into there, like an unbiased search engine. I wanted to see what came up, and it's awful. I mean, it was like I wouldn't want to visit here. I don't even know what this is all about. I'm not making the travel. I'm not doing it. So now we've really been super proactive at taking over those online spaces and making sure it's our narrative that we want to share,
Yes.
not Google cars of okay, this is awful and this is what's happening. So that's been
Right.
really, really wonderful.
Yeah. I would say if you wanna look at an app, website, and an industry that's killing it and should be the gold standard, it's coffee houses on Yelp. If our parks could take pictures inside and out to capture what it feels like to go there with all the expenses, all the prices, and uploaded by people that are there, coffee houses on Yelp are killing it. I wished all park departments were as well photographed, well described
We might
as
need to start that. This might be like the next $1,000,000 idea.
it could be. 'Cause, I mean, I spend a lot of time at parks, I interview a lot of park systems, and sometimes I'll go online and I'll click, and there'll be, like, 2 old pictures, and that's it.
Yeah. And you're like, "Ooh,
And
it's awful."
right, right.
Yeah.
And so that would be, and that's just a way, like you said, our one of our jobs is just to inform. Here's what we have
Mhm.
going on. Here's our
Yep.
facilities. Do you
Yeah.
feel safe bringing your kids and family and,
Yep. And
spending the
as a
day?
parks director that is asking for a bunch of stuff in the budget and, that has to come with tax increases, it makes the public really excited because they see what's going on. I mean, they don't know. So it's like it it's just a funky space to be, but I mean, I think photos, like I said, they tell their own story, and when stuff is
Mhm.
getting upgraded and changed and moved and added onto, there has been very few upset community
Mm,
members when they see that their money is truly working and
yeah,
getting put into these spaces that now they care about, but now we're posting about it like we care about them too, because we always
that's it.
have, but it's like, why are we
Yeah,
not sharing that? So photos are just such a helpful tool. If you're not taking pictures of your places, I can almost guarantee you the only pictures that are getting taken are the bad ones. Very
oh,
probably more
right,
negative, so
right.
paint
Probably
paint
the
your own story.
yeah, otherwise, the worst condition that your bathroom has ever been in is gonna
Yep,
be the top photo.
exactly. Mhm.
Gonna be
That
your number one photo.
yep, exactly. You get it.
Yeah. And for those of you that don't know, Eunice actually is almost at least I don't know what you call it, professional photographer or hobbyist, but takes it seriously, has been doing it for a while, really has an eye for it, and so is passionate about it, but also is quite skilled in it. And so,
Thanks.
yeah, I have some photographers as friends, and that has helped me with set up my studio, and it's just like I am so far away from his skill.
Yeah. There's some studio ones. I'm more outdoorsy. Studio gets a little crazy. A
Oh
lot of
my god.
technicalities. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. Well, I can't believe we just blew past that hour, but this has
Always.
been so much fun. We're gonna have to help you get your own monthly podcast. You have such a talent for this. You should
Oh my
consider
gosh,
that.
I would love to just talk to you. I'll just blow kisses and not be judged for it, hopefully.
That's right. No, no, we
Yeah,
want you to blow kisses and be
yeah,
judged for it.
yeah,
That's the
there
best
we go.
part.
I'll bring my 100%.
None of this 50% game.
Yeah, it's all hundreds.
That's right. Well, thank you so much. This has been one of our best Monday shows to kick off the week. I really appreciate
Oh,
your
thanks
time.
for having me. I love talking to you, so I'd talk Parks and Rec all day if I could.
That's it. Well, that's what I do, literally
Yep, you
hours
too.
all day. Got my dream job, finally.
Yep, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, have an awesome week, and, appreciate you coming on the show today.
Yeah, you too. It's good to see you. I'll be talking to you later.
Yep, fantastic. Have a great day.
Bye.
Thank you. Alright. What a great ball of energy and excitement, and God, that makes you really wanna join Parks and Rec and just follow in Eunice's footsteps. You can tell she gets so much, uh gosh, she gets so much fulfillment from her job, and I don't expect her to retire anytime soon. Probably the grave is the only thing gonna make her retire. But she just does such a great job, and I met her through, YPN, and actually, I think they had several people that, mentioned that I should connect with her and get her on the show, so and she's also been, on our Young Professionals Network show with Molly, and I can't remember the other guy I had on that show, but, yeah, great example of what you can do, in Parks and Recreation, and I loved her story about how it's not even a super old Parks and Rec department, that she's able to build it from ground zero and, put it together, so there's so many different paths in this industry. For anyone looking to make this a career, there's a great example of what can be done. So, appreciate all that you do, Eunice, and, doing a great job over there in Stallings, North Carolina. Okay, so we've got a jam-packed week this week. We've actually got a nice little group of facilities maintenance shows coming up this week. We've got 4 days of this show, Leadership in Parks and Rec. Of course, we got a Thursday show, and we do have a Friday show scheduled, which I think is a 4th of July. Is this Friday? Yes. Let me check. Y'all probably already know this. I should know this. That's a yes. This Friday, 4th of July. So I know nothing's going on at any Parks and Rec department in America on this Friday. I hope you recognize my sarcasm there. This is one of the major special events that is done. I know in my old hometown, and shout out to Port Allen, Louisiana, they do a big, band, food trucks, fireworks. Actually, we don't really do the fireworks. Baton Rouge does the fireworks on the other side of the Mississippi River, and we just kind of look at it, but we kind of got a front row seat to it. But there's a lot typically going on. This is usually one of the biggest special events of the year for any Parks and Rec department. Special events is a big deal. There's a lot of work that goes into setting up for any special events. Just look around when you show up at your special event. If there are porta potties, if there's barricades, if there is booths that have electricity, there is plumbing or water. That's all been set up probably all this week. You'll start seeing barricades, electricians setting up to power all the vendor booths, to power all the food trucks, a lot of permitting going on. So you can bet right now your Parks and Rec department is working their tail off for this Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it's the big cleanup. And so they are putting in lots of long hours to help us celebrate nationwide, and a lot of these Parks and Rec departments, 4th of July. So I say all that. So if you see anybody from your city working at the event, just, thank them for what they're doing, because without them, we really couldn't even have an event. And a lot of these are kind of unsung heroes, and they're not there celebrating, they're there working. And so this is your holiday is their work day. And they love doing it. A lot of them do get a lot of fulfillment of seeing their community come together on a holiday and celebrate together. It's where community is built, and they've chosen to dedicate their life to it. So, a thank you sometimes goes a long way. So if you see anybody from the city, from your town working this event, make sure you just pull aside and thank them for what they're doing, because they really are working hard. Couldn't have the events without them. So shout out to everybody working this 4th of July to put on these special events. All right. That's all I have for y'all today. This is, again, Craig LeBlanc, the Doorman, first episode of the week. Looking forward to another great week with the Daily Parks and Rec Show. We'll see y'all here same time tomorrow. Y'all take care. Bye.
Welcome to DPRS Media Co., the first media company built for the people behind the Parks and Rec community. We don't just cover on Parks and Rec, we elevate it, we amplify it, we honor it. At the heart of everything we do is one mission: to serve the public servants, the professionals who design, maintain, and lead the parks that shape our communities. Under the Daily Parks and Rec Show, we produce 6 powerful platforms. Leadership in Parks and Rec, a spotlight on directors, superintendents, and visionaries shaping the future of public spaces. Facility maintenance, where the boots hit the ground, a deep dive into the systems, crews, and craftsmanship that keep our parks clean, safe, and beautiful. Young Professionals Network, shining a light on the next generation of Parks and Rec. Students, interns, and mentors sharing how we build a legacy together. Youth Sports Mastery, sponsored by National Academy of Athletics. This series is for coaches, parents, and rec leaders working to make youth sports fun, fair, and meaningful again. The Rec Room, hosted by the passionate leaders of Henry County Parks and Rec. This show brings frontline energy and real-life stories from the field. And the weekly Parks and Rec Post, our official newsletter delivering stories, insights, and community wins every week. We are DPRS Media Co., LLC, a media company with a mission to uplift the professionals who serve every community, every park, every day.